Hello and welcome to my new video. In this video I would like to discuss a little bit a strange theme for travel channel. Usually no one is discussing it, at least from what I've seen in the internet. But I would like to discuss how I clean apartments when I move in or check in. First of all, I would like to say that at the moment I am a little bit tired after the long road, so maybe this video will consist of shots from different apartments, or maybe I will just forget about something and then I will need to add something up, or maybe it will be just like this. So who knows what will be in the end result. Also, I would like to say from the beginning that from my experience, I usually separate different apartments in categories about cleaning it. For example, apartments that I stay for a couple of days, I am trying to clean just a little bit, only the most necessity. And then there's another category, it's apartment for 1-2 weeks, where I clean more things. And completely different story is apartments where I stay 1 month or more. So in this month I'm going to change 5 different apartments, and I decided to make this video because it's like a theme for discussion how to properly clean your apartment and not spend the whole month cleaning different apartments, and at the same time stay in the clean apartment that you consider clean and safe. And in this video I will show you what I usually clean for 1 week apartment. And let's start from the first stage. In first stage I usually go through the apartment and make photos. Especially I make photos of anything that is damaged. For example, in this apartment you can see that this tap is already damaged and pretty heavily, and you need to make photos of anything like this, because sometimes owners try to say that it is you who damaged everything. So always go around, turn everything up and check if it's working. Also, I usually check what is there in on all shelves in the apartment, because sometimes you can find something interesting here. Like in some apartments you can find some games, or maybe you can find something broken and then also make a photo, so no one will tell you that it's your fault that you damaged something. So always open everything. For example, here is even I forgot, flip-flops, I think it's called. So, but I'm not sure how to properly clean them, to be honest. So it's better to take your own. Also, for example, here in kitchen you can find such interesting scratches. In kitchen you can also, I would recommend to pay attention to all tools that there are, and pay attention that they are working. For example, and that they are not damaged. For example, pans, saucepans can be damaged heavily on this coverage, and usually before I was using whatever is provided. So if I see this damage, I usually say to the apartment owner and ask them to replace it, because it's not healthy to eat from damaged pans or saucepans. But for the last 4 years I was writing about it for almost every apartment and lately I get so tired of it, so I decided to buy my own saucepan and just take it with me, at least right now. Also, for example, in this apartment you can find TV. TV is also a very important thing and you must check it. For example, I will make a separate video about it, but I had experience when, so this one is working. So I had experience when one of the owners decided to submit a false claim, so I would pay for the broken TV. And you always must take photos of everything around. If you find any damage, any scratches, etc., just make a photo, just in case someone will be trying to make a false claim. Also, I'm curious about people who are using or leaving it. For example, like, what is it? How can I use it? Can you imagine yourself like coming into someone else's apartment, seeing some bottles that was left by no one knows who, and just starting to using it? For example, I am not so trustworthy in people, and I wouldn't trust anyone to like leave it and then I would cook with it, because I don't know. But it's a good question. So if you are someone who would use such stuff from previous guests, please let me know in the comments. I would really be interested in how many people are there who would use it. Also, I would like to say that this apartment looks pretty clean until you start looking into details. For example, here is the bed, and it looks nice with this, I don't know, painting or whatever it is on the wall. But then, like, you are coming here and seeing this part of clothing, I don't know, for removing dust or for washing floors or for whatever. And I'm just curious, what did they wanted to say with it? Why is it here? So I would see that they cleaned here something, and it's not the main thing. Like, there is crumbles on the chair, someone was eating it, and all other parts will be visible a bit later on. Also, for example, pay attention to like all details. For example, here is marks, I don't know if it's visible, like some paint or I don't know. So take photos of any damage that you can see here. Also, how do you like my suitcase? It's so wonderful. I'm already using it over 1 year and still I pretty much enjoy it. Next stage, we need to decide what we are going to clean. So in this case, I am going to stay here for 1 week, and so I will need a chair and table because I'm going to eat here and also work. So, and like right now it looks clean, but if I try to get a little bit closer, you can see some crumbles, some stains, some parts of food that left after previous guests. So there will be for sure a lot of work. Also, I'm going to use kitchen, so in this case I will need to use some working part of the kitchen, also sink. Also, I'm going to need fridge. This stuff I usually don't use, so most probably I will just move it somewhere, so it won't be disturbing. Also, I'm going to clean switches. Also, I'm going to use bathroom with toilet, so these parts are also necessary to clean. And in this room, I'm going to clean maybe one of the, I even don't know how to call it in English. I will add a note afterwards. And also the bed itself. For the next stage, we will need these items to clean. This is antiseptic. I usually use Horgicidin because it's pretty light and soft for the coverages. And also we will need some kind of, I don't know, fairy or whatever, just to make it soapy and easy to clean in the initial stage. What is also interesting is that in this apartment Like I just check in and there is already some trash in the garbage. But yeah. And now let's start with the cleaning. Because I already know that it's pretty much dirty, and usually I would use something white like this to check if it's actually dirty or not, but it's visually visible clearly that there is a lot of food from the previous guests. So in this case I'm going to use fairy plus I don't know how it's called, also we will add translation. And in this case we are just going to try to remove the food and everything else from the previous guests from the table. And while our table top is like getting wet and maybe some stains getting easier to remove, we need to also clean all other like parts of the table where we are going to touch. For example, legs, those parts, because it's very important. And the same is going to happen with the stool or with the chair. And while our table and chair are drying up, we need to continue with sink and working part of the kitchen. Since we already know that it's dirty, won't be skipping part with using our, I still didn't check it out how to properly name it in English. So we are just going to apply soap and clean everything up. And one more thing that I forgot to mention, it's very important to clean not only top, but also sides and even those two parts, because I usually, when I wash dishes, can stay pretty close and touch these parts of the kitchen. In this case, I would also clean it up as well. And next step is dishes. Usually I have two steps if they are clean initially, but in this case we are unlucky and they have still some food from the previous guests. So in this case we will still use fairy to wash it as we did with anything else in the kitchen. And then two more steps, but it will be later. Oh, and also from their dishes I decided to take those 4 plates. This one for still have no idea how this called. And a small spoon for, I don't know, maybe I will take ice cream or something like this. And everything else I have my own, like forks, knife, and also saucepan, because their knife much worse. They are not suitable for cutting anything at all. And while our dishes are drying up, next we need to check if we successfully managed to complete our previous step, and check if the table is already clean or not. So for this I'm going to apply a little bit of my antiseptic and check if the part of clothing is still clean or not once I go through different parts of the table. So looking at the sunlight, it looks like we managed to finish with this part. So now we are going to cover everything with antiseptic and clean it for our use. After table and chair, we will return to the kitchen, to the sink and to the dishes, and we are going to first of all dry it up, and only after that work with antiseptic. And now, let's go with the antiseptic. And once our kitchen is clean, including these parts, now we are going to clean with antiseptic the plates. And with some magic I already got my own saucepan and forks knife, so it's also going to be covered with antiseptic. Once we finish with antiseptic, now we need boiling water. So I'm going to use my saucepan to boil water. And while our water is boiling, we will continue with bathroom. So toilet, tub, and also shower. I will start with the tub, but I think I will skip part with the toilet. I think you know yourself how to clean it. And also it's good that I already made a photo of the tub, because it's actually deep damage to the covering, so it's better to make a photo of it. And so next, let's clean the shower. You need to clean basically this part that spills water and the tub. In some cases it can be a different construction, so you may need to clean something else. Also you may need to clean this tube depending on the construction. For example, sometimes this tube will be interrupting, or like you will sometimes touch it, so it's also possible to clean it. And now just clean it with antiseptic. And while I was busy with bathroom, I remembered that I forgot about cups. So this one will be used for cleaning with boiling water, and this one will be used for drinking. So now let's continue with boiling water. And as usual, one saucepan was used to just cover the sink. Next step, I'm boiling water again for plates. And of course I understand that using boiling water just to wash it and not to put everything into the boiling water is not the same. But I hope that antiseptic plus boiling water, at least for a short period of time, is useful and kills a lot of things that shouldn't be there. And while our water is boiling, I understood that some parts won't be in this video. For example, I'm not going to make video with how I clean the oven. Usually I just clean things that I touch, and basically that's it, because everything else is under high temperature, so it doesn't matter. Also, I will need to clean the washing machine. For washing machine, I usually use special powder that you can use for antibacterial cleaning. You can put it for the first time, and afterwards you can use usual or antibacterial powder, however you want. Also, I will need to clean drying rack or rack, but it's not so interesting, so it won't be in this video. And meantime, I'm going to clean also these parts, because no one knows who was touching them, how, when. So everything like this. should be cleaned. And now it's time for plates to be also covered with boiling water. And so, in front of boiled plates, I would like to finish this video and also ask you to share your opinion. Which steps would you add or which steps would you remove when you check in to a new apartment? And also another question for you is there anyone who is actually using such liquids on new apartments? Because I'm really curious who would use unknown liquids in someone else's apartment. So thank you for watching and see you next time.